Hi crafty friend, it's Justine. I hope you're doing really well. I am super excited because today I'm going to make some beautiful snowflake cards, and I've prepped these cards and it had I had all of my self-control to just not make them ahead of time because they are so pretty, and I just really love this collection from BiBi. So way to go. If you're watching this, you did fabulous. I don't know if she watches my videos. We are Facebook friends, so who knows. Anyway, this die set was just really speaking to me. I loved all of the different variations in the snowflakes, and I just really went to town and die cut out a whole bunch of them. So I have this panel that I'm going to put sideways like this. You can tell I did a little bit of ink blending on the back. I started out with this teal paper, and then I went in with Salty Ocean. That's what it is. And then I die cut out these snowflakes, so I'm just going to place them right on my adhesive. These are going to just kind of pop out of the back and just be a little bit of texture. I'm going to have these main snowflakes kind of here and here, so I'm just going to be mindful of that and put them kind of where I think they should go. So I am just kind of cutting a couple of these in half and using some partial ones here because I just want it to be full and beautiful and kind of fluffy. I really liked this one snowflake here that has it almost looks like a tulip design on it. I think that was really clever that they chose to do that, or that BiBi chose to do that. So very neat. Okay, I'm going to put just a tiny bit more adhesive over where the snowflakes were, just so this stays stuck down, and place this right on top like that. Then I'll grab my paper trimmer and just do a little bit of snipping. Let's start with this side. Since this is nice and straight, I know that my side will be straight. I just have to chop it off. Now I have my diagonal panel. I haven't done a lot of cards like this, so I just thought it would be fun, and I think it's turning out nicely so far. I'm going to put this panel on my background. I did black. All of the cards that I'm doing today are like a teal, blue, black, white, and silver theme. So I know a lot of you do like blue, so hopefully you enjoy these cards. I think that teal is a very appropriate color for snowflakes too, just because it's kind of like the winter vibes, cold, and you know. Okay. The stamp set that goes with this collection is not just for winter though, so it has believe, wishing, and sending as these big die cut sentiments, and then there's a whole bunch of different sentiments. I'll pop them on the screen, but there's even one for retirement, which I thought was very clever because there's not a lot of retirement stamps or dies out there, so I think that that's pretty neat. Now my sentiment's going to go kind of in the middle, so I'm going to put my snowflakes where I kind of want them to go, just so I have a spot for my sentiment. And I think I am going to pop this sentiment up, so let's do that. I have some foam tape that is kind of like a line. Let's see. Where is it? I don't know the company these are from. I just shoved them in this package once upon a time, and I don't know where they're from, but if you know, great. You can probably get them at your craft store. I'm just going to snip off the edge and then put the rest of this back on here because I can use it later. I don't use these often, but they are really nice when you have just a skinny sentiment or something like this that you want to pop up. I'm not going to put anything behind the word believe just because I kind of want a shadow look to go behind here, so we'll see if that is happening. I am going to just pick the card up so I can see it head on. Sometimes it's hard to get things straight when I'm looking at it from the side. Oh, that is cool. I love the shadow look there. Okie dokie. And then, you know, the silver mirror cardstock does have a little bit of firmness to it, so it doesn't need to be tacked on for dear life. Okay, we'll put these big snowflakes on and this card will be almost finished. I think I do need to add a little bit of bling, perhaps to the center of the snowflakes, because I love bling and I think it would be neat to do that. You can add a bunch of little die cuts to the big snowflake, well actually all the snowflake pieces that are from this collection. I will do that on another card here in just a few minutes. But you can add little things to the tulips, you can add things to the big snowflake and just kind of make it look super full and lovely. Okay, I'll set that off to the side. I will add bling at the very end to all of the cards at the same time. Okay, wow. Now this die is gorgeous and big. It does not fit on an A2 all the way, so if you are a 5x7 card maker, perhaps this would fit on there, or a square card maker. That would be great for you as well, but I am going to stick to A2 for this video, and look how delicate that is. It's just gorgeous. Anyway, I'm going to use some liquid glue and just hit some of the main pieces here with some liquid glue. This would be a great die to use that adhesive sticky sheet. So when you die cut it out, it basically becomes a big sticker. That would be super easy to make a whole bunch of these cards if you did that. I did not, but maybe one day. I have one arm of the snowflake that has no glue on it at all, just because I know I'm going to be cutting off at least one arm, and then I can kind of place this how I want. But if you were gluing it and you wanted all of it to be glued down, yikes, you could just glue that last arm after you're done placing the rest of it. I will just glue this last arm down just in case, because I am going to cut off a part of this, so maybe I can use this part that I cut off on another project or pop it inside. I guess we'll just see what happens. See where the wind takes me on this project. Okay, so that is all set, and I'm just gonna give it one last press. It will be good as gold. I'm going to have the snowflake be kind of offset like this, just for interest, and I'm going to build up the center with some other snowflake pieces. So I have this light teal that I'm going to offset kind of like that. And then I have a white piece that is a little bit more intricate, offsetting it again. Oh, that is so pretty. And then I'm just going to set that off to the side for a second, work on my sentiment. So I wanted the sentiment to kind of pop out and stand out from the snowflake. And I wasn't sure if I wanted the black on the back or on the front. Have the silver in the back. I think I'm going to have the silver on the back. For whatever reason, that is just looking nice to my eye. So we're going to do that. I'm going to just put glue on the bottom because I'm going to, again, offset the dies so you can see the silver behind the black, just kind of like a shadow. Oh wow, the silver mirror cardstock is just gorgeous. I love it. Then I'm going to put on the bottom the sentiment, "You a very Merry Christmas." So all together, wishing you a very Merry Christmas. I do want my sentiment to be in the center of my snowflake, so I just want to make sure that I put this on before I start chopping up on the snowflake. That looks fabulous to me. Great. Well, now I'm going to chop. Should I just grab a 5x7 card? I'm going to do it. I have extra 5x7 cards and I'm going to do it. Oh, that looks gorgeous. I am not going to chop anything off because I think the snowflake is just gorgeous the way it is. So I am just going to use some foam squares and pop up the whole snowflake. I'll probably use up some of my foam here doing this, but it is totally worth it. And I'll pop it right onto my card base. Oh, that is gorgeous. I'm using one of Spellbinders card bases. This has the linen finish on it, so it really makes for an easy background. I just have to pop the card on. That is stunning. Oh, I love it. I'm gonna love it even more when I put some gems on it in just a few minutes. Wow. Okay. Now my last card, I have some little pieces to put on my snowflakes. So let's just get those all decorated up and then I will put the rest of the card together. So it looks like I only cut out 5 of each. So when I was prepping this, I must have thought that I'm going to nest these in behind my sentiment, which I guess makes sense, but I forgot. So I'm going to pop the darker piece on. It's going to go right about there, and that just gives a little bit of extra interest and oomph to these already gorgeous snowflakes. BiBi's stuff is always just so beautiful and pretty. Her hummingbirds were just stunning this spring. I had a lot of fun with those dies and did a lot of ink blending on those hummingbirds and really loved them. If you are a pop-up person, she also has a pop-up snowflake that is part of this collection. So it's just kind of fun to see all the different things that people make with her stuff and really get creative, and I just love it. So I chose to put the dark pieces on the background just to keep it nice and dark. And then I'm gonna have this big piece offset so you can still see those pretty dark teal pieces. And then lastly, this little tulip one is gonna go on top. That's nice and sparkly and silver. Oops, stick on there, you. And then I will just adjust it so it is offset from the last layer. Oh, that is pretty. Okay. Now for this piece, the tulips are going to go on the white one, so I'll just pop a little bit of glue and stick those on. Then to build up this snowflake, I'm going to put the white down first, and I'm just going to put glue in the center like I did with the other one, just because I want all the dimension, and just let it be fluffy. And every snowflake is different, so it's okay if they look a little different from each other. It's the way they were designed. And I'll put this last one right on top and just kind of twisting it so it's almost in between the other layer there. There we go. Oh, that looks so pretty. This is such a pretty collection. Okay. Now for my layers, I will just layer them up. What I did was I cut off 1/4 inch all the way down to make some layers for my cards. So I'm starting with the A2 size, which is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I just went down 1/4 every time. So this next layer would be 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And to put that on there, I just eyeball it, just to be real frank with you. Then my next piece, the silver mirrored cardstock, I cut down to 3 1/4 by 5 inches. Doing a little math here in my head. After cutting all this paper so many times, I've made so many cards now in my life, I just know my hands just do it when I'm cutting, and I don't even think about the measurements. So there's that. And then my last piece which is, let's see, a whole inch off. So that would be 4.5 by 5 3/4. No, 4 3/4. Yikes. Okay, so there I have all my layers, and that looks so pretty. I love the silver mirror cardstock on that layer. Just stunning, as they say. Okay, now with my sentiment, I am going to use my sentiment to kind of hide those two ends that I did not have that extra color. So we're going to have to be discreet and very deliberate with our sentiment placement. Sending some sparkle your way. I love that sentiment. And we're going to have to bling up this card, because if it says that on the sentiment, that means we're going to have to do it. So there's that. I'm going to offset the snowflakes like so, but still sliding that one tulip that's not colored to the center-ish. And we'll put the other one down, and this was the one that didn't have that dark piece, so we'll put that by the tulip like that. And if it hangs off the edge, that's just fine. It's still on the card. And then we're definitely going to pop up the sentiment with some foam squares. I'm going to have to use my teeny tiny ones from Spellbinders and get the job done. These are the small ones. They're 2 millimeters, so they're nice and small. I'm so sorry if you hear that little cricket. I live in Minnesota, and I just did a live last night, and anytime I was quiet on my live, you could just hear the cricket, and it was just cracking me up, because I thought to myself, like, this is my life now. I'm talking on camera live, and I can't do anything about that cricket, so it just kind of made me think of Mulan. I don't know. Anyway, also, please do not mind my inky fingers. I just filmed my Swedish card video that should be up on my channel if this one's up. And yeah, we'll just say I got inky on that video. Okie dokie. Let's put this on. The cricket is coming back with a vengeance. We'll put that on right about there. I used 2 foam squares because I really wanted it to stand out from the snowflakes, and I think it did the job. All right, now let's get some bling and make these cards pop even more. I'm going to close my glue because I've been known to leave my glue open and my ink out, which is why I had to re-ink my Memento ink, because I left it open. Very smart, I know. I was kind of thinking about these gems because they're kind of teal and green. So I'm going to mix some of these with some regular kind of crystals. We'll see what I kind of come up with here. So I've added some sparkle to the cards. I used all the gems in this gem pack. I got these on Amazon. They're for nail art technically. I think scrapbook.com sells a similar pack, so I'll link that in the description, but there's plenty of gems out there that you could use to add beautiful sparkle to these cards. Look at them with the light. I just love them. So I will post some pretty pictures at the end of this video so you can see them even in better light. Natural light's always better, but there you have it. I hope you like the cards. Which one is your favorite? Let me know in the comments. I think my favorite is this one, just because of the ink blending and the sparkle and the layers. It's just a lot of texture, so I love that. Anyway, we'll see you next time. Happy crafting. Bye.